Hi everybody, Levi Clay here, back again to do another vlog type video. But before I dig into that, I thought I'd just address the look of the videos. They're looking bloody fantastic if I do say so myself, and that is in no small part thanks to you people out there. I've been asking for your input on the look of these videos and how I can improve the look, and I'm taking on board just about everything you guys are suggesting. Today we're trying out some rule of thirds. I think it looks quite cool. I'm also using the new Logitech Brio 4K webcam, which looks fantastic, and that was my monthly purchase thanks to my supporters over on Patreon. If you check me out on Patreon, the whole point of that is to help improve the quality of my videos, and these videos have jumped up in quality in the last 5 months. So a massive thank you to everybody that's watching, sharing, commenting, liking, and supporting. It really does help make a difference. So, what am I going to talk about today? Well, today I want to talk about the subject of online video instructionals. I am not going to talk about my products because that's not the point. This isn't about selling you on anything. Last week I uploaded a video that many people considered to be in poor taste because they felt I was attacking a small YouTube channel. And that wasn't really the case. Yes, when you search the person's name in question, he has a channel with 400 subscribers, but he actually has a channel with 10,000 subscribers on which he's selling products to people. And I take issue with the way those products are being sold. But I'm leaving that in the past because one of the questions that I received after that was, what instructional products online do you recommend? If you take issue with the products that someone like this has, are there products that you give the thumbs up, the approval rating to? And the answer, of course, is absolutely 100% yes. There's tons of great content out there online. This is why I don't see the need for people like that to be in business anymore, because you can get some of the greatest instructional material in the world for free on YouTube, and even better stuff if you pay a little bit of money. So the videos that I'm going to talk about today and the websites that I'm going to talk about today, some of them I have purchased, in fact a lot of them I've purchased products from. I've got the list next to me. A lot of them I have purchased a lot of products from because I enjoy watching instructional content. Some of them I have provided transcriptions for, and some of them I have worked with and then in turn become massive fans of their products. In the interest of full disclosure though, I will tell you about each one of those so you know the full deal, and you know that it's not paid product placement. I have not been paid to feature any of these channels. These are all just websites that I think make absolutely awesome content. Now, before addressing that though, it's also worth pointing out that I don't think that online instructional material is the best way to do things. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's fantastic, and I've purchased thousands of pounds worth of it because I'm thoroughly fascinated by the way people teach online. I think you can get 95% of everything you need from online lessons, but there's something magical to be said about having a tutor that you can talk to about content. So if you were working on video lessons and you also had a local teacher that you were going to once a month just to run ideas by, somebody that you can get active feedback from is quite useful. Somebody who can correct you on things that you might have mislearned, if you've misinterpreted something that's been presented in a video. So don't feel that what I'm suggesting is private lessons are no longer necessary, because that one-to-one contact time with a tutor is fantastic and also a great use of your money. So let's dig into these instructional sites. So the first site I want to quickly mention is John Tuggle's site, learningguitarnow.com. So Learning Guitar Now. Disclosure, I provided many transcriptions for John's website. John reached out to me 4 or 5 years ago and asked me to provide some transcriptions for him, and I transcribed some of his stuff and thought it was excellent. I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of slide guitar stuff. I transcribed loads of slide stuff for him, and then I didn't hear from John for 6 months or so. And in that time, I had checked out more of his site and decided I really liked a lot of the products on there, liked the look of a lot of the products on there, and I'd said to him, in future, if you need any transcriptions, maybe we can work out a deal. You can give me some of your videos and I will do the transcriptions in exchange for that. But I got impatient and ended up just buying a bunch. So I bought 6 DVDs from John's website, and they were massively influential in my blues playing. John is a fabulous blues player. He really is. Great touch, great tone, really good slide player. If you want to learn slide, John is one of my biggest influences, and I highly recommend you check his website out. The second site is Anthony over at Texas Blues Alley. Similar story to John, actually. I've provided transcriptions for Texas Blues Alley, previously known as Stevie Snacks. Anthony's playing is fantastic, it really is. Initially just being a Stevie Ray Vaughan type website, he's branched out now with Texas Blues Alley and doing a lot more playing in the style of more blues players, and he really does have an incredible touch on the instrument. He's very good at explaining, he has great camera shots, and the audio quality is always fantastic. Again, if you want to learn blues, I really can't think of another place that has that level of authenticity. So again, well worth taking a look into. And they have both products and membership type things. So very cool site. Next up, old friend of mine, Tom Quayle. Tom Quayle's website has a ton of great instructional content, lots of applied theory, lots of technique, legato and things like that. Tom's pedigree as a teacher is well known. I don't need to explain who Tom Quayle is. And on top of that, Tom Quayle is just an excellent human being as well. Tom Quayle was one of the first people to really give me a leg up professionally into the industry, and has always been very fair with me, and is a huge part of why I still have a career, which is fantastic, and I'm massively appreciative to him. Again, the reason that happened though is because I was fascinated with his instructional material, and I reached out to Tom and got to know Tom based on my want to get to know somebody that was making excellent content. So there's Tom. Next up is Rick Graham's website. It's impossible, and I'm going to say literally impossible, to talk about online guitar learning, technique and videos without mentioning Rick Graham. Rick Graham, the beast. Rick Graham, I believe, may just be the most technically gifted guitar player that has ever lived. Rick Graham is absolutely astonishingly good. Rick Graham was astonishingly good the first time I met Rick, and somehow Rick seems to be 5 times better than when I first met Rick. And I have no doubt that in 5 years' time, he'll probably be 5 times better than he is now, and I don't know how that's possible. I actually feel bad sending people to his website to encourage them to buy products from him, because what I'd really like to do is start a crowdfund so we could maybe hire somebody to break his fingers, because it's really not fair how good Rick is. Rick is outrageous. If you're unfamiliar with Rick's playing, you need to get on over to his YouTube channel and then head on over and look at some of his instructional materials. Now, I don't think I've provided any transcriptions for Rick's website, so this is a genuine recommendation just purely based on the quality of material. And likewise, I've not been given any of Rick's material for free. So again, genuine recommendation there. I really like Rick's stuff. And then of course there's my friend Martin Miller. I'm not going to talk about Martin as a solo instructor though. I'll talk about Jamtrack Central. Now Jamtrack Central, originally Blues Jam Tracks of course, have been pushing the boundaries of guitar education for a long time now, a very long time. Originally a website based solely on the playing ability of people, so you'd bring in amazing players and then transcribe their work and sell that as packages, and that's excellent, that's visionary. That allows mere mortals like you and I to learn what someone like Guthrie Govan is doing when Guthrie is improvising, not when Guthrie is composing things to teach, but when he's actually, you know, really going for it. So there's tons of great material on their website, and as they have developed as a website, they have expanded and brought in new things. So they have a lot of great artists over there, Al Joseph and Martin Miller, and really, again, the list is an incredible list of teachers over there. And the thing that they've started introducing is their Masterclass series. And Martin, being a friend of mine, has what I deem to be one of the best products I've ever seen on the subject of improvisation and application of theory on the guitar. So Martin's Masterclass is well worth checking out. There's 3 different levels that you can take, and Martin is a master of the guitar. There is no denying that. Great player, great teacher, and just an all-round good guy. And it's worth supporting good websites like Jamtrack Central because, and I won't go into the business of things, but the way their business works is they are very, very supportive of artists. There are many artists in the world today that manage to make a living doing music, and it wouldn't be the case if it weren't for good people like Jamtrack Central presenting fair business opportunities for working musicians. It's a mutually beneficial site. If you work for Jamtrack Central, You make good money, they make good money, and that should be applauded. So don't pirate stuff, go out and buy it. Next up, I want to make a mention to Andy James and his website. Well, he's actually on Jamtrack Central, but he also has his own guitar academy. Again, Andy needs no introduction. Andy is kind of Rick levels of technical good, but Rick is a kind of all-round monster fusion player. And Andy is your all-ahead straight metal player. If you want to learn to play metal and you go to anybody other than, you know, Andy James or perhaps Rusty Cooley, guys like that, then you're a fool. Simple as that. You don't need to go out and join a cult when you can learn from Andy motherfucking James. It really is as simple as that. Andy has been a huge influence on my playing, and he's one of those influences that just crept in there, and it's very hard for me to separate that influence. It's fundamental to the way I play high-tech metal stuff now. So Andy, a big influence for me. I do have, I think, one product that I have helped put together on his website, but I'm not their in-house transcriber or anything like that. I'm not making any money sending you over there. Again, just making that recommendation because Andy is one of the best. He's a fabulous player, and there's a lot that you can learn from someone like Andy. And again, he was vocal at the start of my career in helping me get a leg up, and I appreciate that and always will appreciate that. So he's worth checking out. In that vein of technique, it's also worth mentioning there are guys like Chris Brooks, of course. Chris has, you know, the Yngwie product. Now, I've not watched it in full, but I've seen many selections of it, and Chris is one of those weird players in that he has terrifying levels of technique, terrifying levels of efficiency in his hand, like Marshall Harrison levels of minimal movement when he's playing, and it's fascinating to watch. And I'm not going to say that Chris is going to have all of the answers for you as a player, because I don't believe that anybody does. We all have techniques that are so different, but if your technique falls in line with the way that Chris plays the guitar, he is going to be able to refine your technique to a level that I can't even comprehend in my own playing. So he's worth considering checking out. Also want to make mention, and this is obviously a big one, to Cracking the Code, Troy Grady's website, troygrady.com. Troy Grady's stuff, I'm often misquoted on this because of my defense of Cracking the Code in the past. People make the assumption that I'm a huge Cracking the Code fan. I mean, I'm a massive fan of what Troy does. It's worth pointing out, though, that Troy isn't really going to teach you how to play guitar. That's not really the point. You need to be a good player before you tackle the Cracking the Code stuff. Cracking the Code is, funnily enough, something that I watched all of the promotional material of, then watched Cracking the Code Season 1, got really excited, looking forward to Season 2, and actually I found that it wasn't massively applicable to my playing personally, because I'm not what Troy would call a downward pick slanter. So I didn't write it off, but it's something that I definitely put into the category of something that's interesting but not massively applicable to me. But actually, I kept interested in the product, and as the product developed and I saw more of what Troy had discovered, what I realised is that Troy is one of the masters of modern technique education. And every conceivable aspect of picking on the guitar, everything that I'd ever conceived and anything I probably ever will conceive, Troy has covered. And it really is a fascinating documentation of technique. And if you're interested in technique and developing your technique, Troy's worth looking at. Now, just as a warning on that one, when you go to someone like Troy, it's not really about, as I say, learning a technique. I don't think there's huge reward in trying to develop a technique that you don't already have down. So if you are like me and you tend to have a slight upward pick slant when you play, looking at downward pick slanting and trying to force that into your playing isn't the point. At least I don't think it is. It certainly wasn't for me. But Troy's stuff is more about understanding the technique that you already use and refining what you have, and then seeing what strengths the particular techniques that you do use bring to the table. So well worth checking that stuff out. And I have provided transcriptions for Cracking the Code, and Troy has sent me some of the products to check out. But to be honest, I became vocal about Troy's stuff long before I knew Troy, because the product was excellent. I purchased the first couple of seasons of Cracking the Code, and I've watched a lot of the YouTube stuff. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you I've watched everything that Troy has put out, because there's so much of it. But it is the kind of thing that I can put on and really geek out to and find quite interesting. It's very entertaining. Troy is very well spoken, very well presented, and doing very, very good work for the guitar education community. So if you're into that stuff, go check him out. Next up would be Matt Warnock's website. Now, Matt Warnock is an old colleague, I guess, would be an accurate way to put this. Matt gave me my first writing break. It was an unpaid role. I don't begrudge that. I don't hold that against him, because I think that's an important part of getting experience as a writer. He gave me some writing work when I first went to university, and I got to know his content, and Matt is a fabulous jazz player. His website is a one-stop shop for all things jazz, and it's free. And you can't say better than free. So if you want to develop jazz chops, head on over to Matt's website, because the content is awesome. Matt is a teacher of the highest caliber. He knows what he's showing you, and you're going to get exactly what you pay for. Let me rephrase that. You are going to get what you want and not have to pay anything for it. So it's a brilliant, absolutely brilliant website, and I love digging into random things on there, and just as a way to spruce up my practice routines. So big fan. Also want to make mention about TrueFire. TrueFire, I believe, does online guitar instructionals right. They have a lot of products, and I think some of them can be quite hit or miss. There are some that I have purchased and I thought that wasn't great, but there are also some that I have purchased and thought were absolutely excellent. Very much in the vein of Jamtrack Central, TrueFire tend to work with a lot of fantastic artists, so you can go there and look at Tommy Emmanuel, or Jim Campolongo's on there, Fareed Hack is on there. But having said that, you know, these guys are all just players at the end of the day, so there's plenty of teachers that you may be less familiar with that are still worth checking out. There's Jason Laughlin and Chris Bono's on there, and you know, they're great teachers, nice guys, good content. I have never worked for those guys. I would love to do transcriptions for them, because I often find that a lot of their transcription stuff can be lacking, not in quality but in amount. When you look at the Andreas Oberg stuff, there's so many cool things on there that you really kind of want it all transcribed, and unfortunately it's not. So yeah, would love to do that, but no, I don't. I've never been paid by those guys, so it's a genuine recommendation. I have purchased maybe 20-25 courses from those guys. Whenever there's a sale on, I always check it out and see if there's anything that I've been waiting to pick up. Lots and lots of good content over there, so well worth checking out. My Music Masterclass is the penultimate one that I would recommend. This is one for the jazzers. In fact, you can head on over here and get content from people that don't even play guitar, which is awesome, because you can learn a lot from people that don't play your instrument. But the thing I like about My Music Masterclass is the level of jazz players that they work with. Now, they can be a bit lacking on the transcription front, and the production quality isn't nearly as good as, you know, just about any of the sites that we've mentioned so far, but the content is usually great. So I have quite a few products from those guys. I've never worked for them, they've never given me anything for free. I've purchased the Mike Stern stuff, and the Scott Henderson stuff, and the Ben Monda stuff. There is a lot of content on that website that I would love to get my hands on. It's all just a case of money. Money is usually the thing that gets in the way of the things you want in life. So My Music Masterclass, yep, absolutely fantastic. Really, you know, they've got Adam Rogers content on there, and it really is just an endless treasure trove of fantastic teachers. I believe Vic Juris is on there. Lots and lots and lots of stuff. I tend to look through there and I'm flabbergasted at the amount of high-level New York jazz cats that you see on there. So My Music Masterclass, well worth checking out. Oh, Bruce Foreman, of course, is on there from you know, Bruce and Scott, Guitar Wank. And Bruce Foreman is an excellent player that really gets music and the point of music. So, you know, great, worth checking out. And lastly, another friend of mine, Justin Sandico. How can I not make mention of Justin Guitar? You have to talk about Justin Guitar if you're talking about guitar, because Justin's website is probably the premier one to do that kind of thing. He I'm not going to say has a monopoly on online guitar education, but he was very early in the game and he understands the best way to reach people. Tons and tons of great free content. He's a great writer, very funny and entertaining. He's engaging, fun to watch, and his website is free. Obviously he has paid products, but his website is free. If you are a beginner to intermediate player, Justin's website is a great place to visit. If you are an advanced player, Justin's website is still an excellent place to visit, and I'll give you one great reason for that. Justin is probably a better teacher than you are. Justin is probably a better writer than you are, and that's important. The reason I buy so many instructional products is not because I need to learn how to play an altered scale or how to do tritone substitution or what sweep picking is. I buy so many instructional products because I like seeing how other people approach teaching, because I consider myself a teacher, and it's important to stay ahead of the curve when it comes to education. You need to have cutting edge teaching techniques, and Justin is one of those guys that's done everything so well that everybody can learn something from him. So, nice guy. I haven't provided any transcriptions or anything for his website, though I do know Justin, and he was one of the executive producers on my album a few years back, so big thanks to him for that, of course. And that's everything I've got on my list. Now, of course, there are plenty more guys' websites that are worth checking out, and there are plenty of DVDs and things, and I feel bad for the endless amounts of people that I've not been able to mention here, but I've already been talking for way too long. Great YouTube channels. It really is amazing the amount of excellent content that you can get online to learn with now, and I would be fascinated to know what your personal recommendations are. Websites that I may not have seen, may not have checked out. Let me know about them. If they're making exciting content, the chances are I'm going to check it out and probably buy some of it. So you're doing them a service by telling me about it. And hopefully you're going to check out some of these guys and give them some of your hard-earned money. I'm making these videos not for your hard-earned money. When I make a video like this, it's for a genuine love and passion about teaching and education. Don't give me any money. I mean, go to my Patreon and give me money. But it's not about selling you a product. These videos are absolutely always going to be free. So, yeah. Let me know what you would recommend in the comments below. And on the note of Patreon, I'm just going to click over here, bring up my credits. See these awesome people over here? See all those names? These people? They give me $10 or more on Patreon. And that's so cool, and I'm so appreciative of those guys. In fact, actually, I feel terrible because I've just had another guy sign up and I've not put his name on that list. So I best fix that as soon as I finish this. You can join that list by checking me out on Patreon. And yeah, for as little as $1, you can join our Facebook-only patron group. And I'm sure you will enjoy being there. Because I'm playing around with this rule of thirds thing now, I'm going to have my logos in different places, I would imagine. So you can check me out on Patreon by clicking this button that's somewhere over my head here. If you scroll down just a bit there, you will see a button which you can click to subscribe to my channel. And over here, you'll see 2 more of my videos. Good content, hopefully, that you will enjoy. It doesn't look as good as this stuff, but hopefully you will enjoy it. Thank you so much for all the support, guys. It's been my pleasure to make these videos, and I'm going to keep doing it even if you don't want me to, because I bloody love doing it. Peace out, and I will chat to y'all soon. Bye.